Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to Work Trends with Megan and Biro. Whether you're here to network, learn, or share, we want you to have fun. During this live broadcast and Twitter chat, we'll discuss the future of work with smart and entertaining guests who value today's business and its impact on the world of work for the future. Stay tuned, because we start in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. This is Tim McDonald welcoming you to another informative talent culture #Work Trends live podcast and Twitter chat. And I am filling in for Megan Biro, who is, guess what, taking a long, well-deserved vacation. So let's show Megan some love on Twitter. I'm sure she'll see it, even if not right now. If she's not checking her phone, she'll love to hear from you. So use the Work Trends hashtag and tell Megan a big hello and how much we love her and miss her, but that we understand we all need that vacation to unplug and rejuvenate ourselves. So I hope you're having a great time, Megan, and thank you for letting me fill in for you again today. And I just want to really thank everybody, all of our sponsors. We just want to really give a special thank you to all the friends and sponsors who make this possible for this show to go live every week. And today I am just so excited because I'm speaking with Elaine Orler from Talent Board and Talent Function, and we're discussing 2017 predictions for recruiting and talent acquisition. And I got a little bio here that I'm going to give for you, Elaine, and then I'm going to let you tell me a little bit more because I'm kind of curious to hear the difference between Talent Board and Talent Function in just a second here. But Elaine Orler is the chairman and co-founder. Oh, geez, I'm like tied up here. Let me start over. Elaine Orler is the chairman and co-founder of Talent Board, founding organization of the Candidate Experience Awards, and CEO and founder of Talent Function, a consulting firm focused on reinventing recruiting. Elaine is recognized as a talent acquisition and talent management expert. She is active thought leader, blogger, and speaker. So Elaine, I am going to kick it over to you to tell us a little bit more about you, what you've been working on lately, and please explain the difference between Talent Board and Talent Function for me so that I understand and hopefully everybody else will as well.
Well, first off, thank you for having me on the call today, and looking forward to the Twitter conversation that's coming next as well. These are always fun for me. I admit I am a Generation X. I'm not a boomer, but I am also not a millennial, so I am not nearly as fast on Twitter as I probably should be, and I feel like I'm moving into the dinosaur phase of my life. That being said, a little bit more about me in regards to beyond those things. I have 2 millennials in college. One graduates next year, the other graduates the year after, and our running joke at home typically is we're finally taking both kids off of household payroll. So looking forward to vacations, for me anyway, in the next couple of years after college tuition comes off of the payroll status. But started Talent Function as a consulting firm 7 years ago. That was my first endeavor into running my own business. Have been consulting in the industry around talent acquisition technology, business process, and strategy since 1999. Yes, before many people that are likely listening to this were even born. But beyond that, started Talent Board as a nonprofit entity, and the focus there really, again, on the Candidate Experience Awards. Founded that with Jerry Crispin and Ed Newman 6 years ago because we felt there was a need to elevate and promote in a positive way the companies that were really striving to show that their candidates were customers in the process and that they deserved and required respect. And so the awards were generated to actually elevate those companies that were their candidates, because it's completely based on candidate survey data. Their candidates said that they were treated exceptionally well compared to the average. So have been managing, overseeing, orchestrating both organizations now for collectively 6 years each, and excited to talk about both, and also excited to talk about the predictions going forward.
Yeah, well, and I think it's such a great day to be talking about this topic of trends and 2017 predictions, just with it being the day after the election here in the U.S. Obviously, a lot of people are, I think, asking themselves what's coming up in the next year. But we're going to try and keep it focused on recruiting today for work trends. So as we start talking about this, the topic, can you explain to us what prompted you to develop a strong interest in recruiting and talent acquisition technologies?
Sure. It actually started you would think it would have came from my degree. No, I'm one of those transplants to the HR space. My degree was elementary education. I taught kindergarten and first grade and realized there are transferable skills in teaching those age groups and recruiting engineers. Who would have figured? I moved into a recruiting role early on in my career and realized I actually became incredibly passionate about seeing the recruiting equation corrected, not just recruiting the right candidate for the position, but the process steps that we go through and the technology that we were using. And I was able to cut my recruiting teeth on what I call one of the great grandparent products of the space today, Resumex. And so understanding, and anybody that even knows what Resumex is on this call, you're definitely older than the millennials. But the reality was those types of products back in the early 90s were the first entry into technology, into truly automating how we do recruiting today, and realized that was my sweet spot. I love seeing how the technology can enable a recruiter to be more efficient and effective and personable and be able to relate to the people that are involved in the process while the technology takes on I call them the mind-numbing tasks and activities that we need to track, but in concert together can create for some great synergy and some amazing recruiting efforts for organizations. So I love to get in and figure out where the technology is broken for clients or where it's optimized well and where they have gaps in other areas that they could augment with other solutions. And basically, I use the running joke in consulting and rinse and repeat because I get to do that work over and over again for different types of companies.
That is fantastic, going from teacher into recruiting and technology. And you brought up something very interesting when you answered that, and it brings me to kind of the next question that I was thinking about, because, so often I hear, it said that many companies purchase HR technologies before knowing all the pros and cons of what they're buying. And, that there's a bit of this shiny object syndrome happening in the instances. And if there is, why do you think that is?
Well, that's such a great question. I run into that on a daily basis. And I use an analogy. I use this in my career progression. I use this when I'm talking with other folks or coaching them on what they want to do next or why they might be making a move. And I've used this on my kids when they've been emotional or upset about things. But in the same way with recruiting technology, I ask every organization to define what's driving the reason for change. And there is a shiny object syndrome. This one looks better. It feels better. It has a better UI or user experience, et cetera. And there's always these concepts. But every organization is motivated for change for one of two things. They're running from something or they're running to something. And the organizations that are running from, I'll take anything better than insert product name here, is a running from position, which means that the shiny object is going to be more of an aspirational type of thing. We're not deciding specifically what we want to be. We just know we don't want to be what we are now in a technology sense. And so I do see a lot of organizations wrestle with moving from that phase of I'll take anything better to clearly defining what is better and what it is that they actually need. The organizations that spend that time to say, no, it's not about how bad it's been today or what problem we used to have. It's what do we want to be? What is it we're going towards? What are our objectives? What are the things we hope to accomplish in the next 1, 3, and 5 years in recruiting? Those kinds of components allow our organizations to get to the capabilities that are critical. And I then in those decisions, the shiny object isn't as much of the statement because it's really now about what is it that we're trying to accomplish. So in essence, which problem are we solving for? Are we solving for replacement? Are we solving for augmentation? Are we solving for brand new? And making sure that we're in a running to statement.
I love that answer, and I think more people need to talk to you about that. Seems like too many are just chasing after the latest and greatest without understanding how it helps what they're trying to achieve. So I love your answer to that, Elaine. So what are the recommended resources HR can use when investigating which technologies are best suited for their business?
Oh, there are so many resources today. First and foremost, obviously, you can call us anytime. Talent Function, I will tell you that one program that we have had for 7 years, and we pride ourselves on it, is our 1 hour of intellectual generosity. Anybody can schedule an hour with any resource on our bench about any topic related to recruiting, technology, process, or strategy, and no sales commitment required. So if it's just you want to beat around the bush, you want to talk about core products, we'll align you with the right resource, because we think that there's an opportunity in this industry where you just need a little more education and then you can go do it yourself. And we're game for that to happen, because that means that there's more room for us to do other work where an organization can't do that work themselves. But beyond that, there's a ton of tools online. There's a variety of programs and companies that are doing a lot to try to segment the market or my first recommendation for any organization that wants to investigate what technology is best for them is to don't look outside of your business until you define what you want. If I could put one thing out there, because what happens is we start to look at, this product looks good, or this product looks good, or we start to do these demos or these try before you buys, and your judgment and your decision around what it is you need gets infiltrated by all these things that you think you might want. And then want starts to oversee need, and then you're going to be in a challenging position to justify want. A lot of big psychological words in there. I should have rephrased that a little bit more on the technology side. But at the end state of the game is there are so many different ways to solve for recruiting technology today. If you just close yourself up in a room and say, what is it we absolutely need to accomplish, and define that first, the market itself will filter for you. You now have key questions that you can ask vendors. If they don't solve for that capability, you have to ask yourself, is it a need or a want, and where does it fall in our criteria?
Wow. As you're talking, I'm like nodding my head going, I'm guilty of some of this myself. But yes, the difference between need and want, so important, and so many of us, I think, confuse it as being one and the same when they're really different. So I love that piece of advice, the number one piece of advice.
Yeah, and I would add in there, you can need a good UI and good user experience. I want to make sure people understand that a need is not just does it do block and tackle. A need can be a better user experience, especially for your candidates, so how your application process runs, your ability to have multiple different workflows, activities, actions, call to actions, having the system be intuitive to what your next step will be and prompt you, do you want to do that step now or not? Those can all be needs. And in many cases, in the organizations that really sit down to define what is really critical to recruiting, those do fall in the need categories. The wants are things like it has to be in purple versus green. And those are the kinds of things that, as organizations look at, or this one makes it lay out horizontally versus vertically. It's really about which one's going to be more effective in your business. And the last piece I'll say on that is from the technology side as well, make sure you have all of the right stakeholders within the business involved in the conversation early. The number of projects where I've seen, talent acquisition leaders and business leaders go out to look for solutions, start their whole business process, and then get cut off or derailed or put on hold because there's a different IT initiative or a talent management initiative or a provisioning initiative that comes back to say, why not this too, or why not this instead? So making sure you have all those right stakeholders in the conversation early so that you're vetting the solutions in a way that everybody's going towards the same goal.
So important, So important. Oh, no, thank you for clarifying that, Elaine. And I think you just gave us quite a few other such valuable nuggets there for everybody to take away from this that a lot of organizations are needing. So, but, last week when Megan was talking with Jessica Miller-Morell, they talked about artificial intelligence and its impact on recruiting. Can you tell us more about your vision for what we'll say AI or for artificial intelligence in the recruiting process?
Oh, yes. Artificial intelligence is such the buzzword. Big data is so last year. AI is so this year. So, there's so many different things that are happening with artificial intelligence outside of just the scary fact that it's, that it's becoming intelligent for the first time. And the reality, I've heard everything in the last month from, I have a product that will eliminate the need for all recruiters because our intelligence product will actually find the right candidate and serve them up, and no recruiters are needed, which scares me. So from the reverse side of it, what scares me most about artificial intelligence is this assumption that we can completely replace the recruiter, the talent acquisition professional, the person responsible for the conversation that happens with the candidate and the business fit and culture fit model. That scares me the most. Where I think there's huge value in artificial intelligence is that ability to help with predictions. So that ability to anticipate what's next, or to show more like, or to understand that this is the key criteria in a need or a position, and this is what it took to get it last time. Here's how the intelligence can serve up insights and information to recruiters, to managers, to the candidates on likelihood of fit, likelihood of next steps, those types of things. I think that I have a dream world where candidates, when they apply to a position, they're going to get a result back that says, based on your resume and based on the position, you have a 60% chance of getting a response. Now, most companies won't do that because there's going to be some kind of legal ramification. But if I were a candidate knowing that I'm one of 200 applying to a job and I have a 50-50 chance of going forward, my behavior towards what else I apply to and what I'm doing in my career search will be different than, I think I'm the best one and I can't figure out why the recruiter hasn't called me yet. It's been 5 minutes. So I want to see artificial intelligence. I want to see the kind of intelligence engines brought forward to bring more insight into the business process.
Excellent. I think there's a lot of room there, but let's AI, I think is really, like you said, I think it's what everybody's talking about, but we're still got a lot of ways to go on that. So let's look at something that's been around for at least a few more years, and tell us more about how companies are using mobile and social as part of the recruiting process in 2016. And if you think they'll be upping their game using these resources in 2017.
Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting because I think one of my early predictions, I predicted mobile would be mainstream back in 2013. 3 years ago feels like 13 years ago to me. But it's not so much about whether it's mobile or desktop. It's really, is it device agnostic? Can I perform the tasks that I'm responsible for doing in this recruiting equation, regardless of what user type I am, on whatever device I have in front of me? And I think that's the evolution of mobile. It's not just, can I get it on a phone or a tablet, or do I have an app? It's, I'm a recruiter, and can I swipe left or right on candidate reviews while I'm on the train back and forth to work? I'm a manager. Can I force scheduling invites through my tablet by touching a button and have it auto-schedule appointments? It's things like that where we see the more intelligent capabilities within the technology that exists in our hardware, that phone, that tablet, that computer, having that opportunity to bring that back into the recruiting equation overall. So that's where I'd like to see mobile move to. Social, I think social is moving much more into interactions. It's not just blast. It's not just, how many likes can we get in the course of a day, or how many impressions can we get on our look. But social is now moving into having a better understanding of awareness of where people are at, awareness of what's happening in the candidate's life as it relates to their career and objectives and goals, and what's happening from a business side of objectives and goals, and allowing social to really broker a better level of understanding versus just hitting the like button.
Wow. Yeah, and I think that's so much more impactful and meaningful for what organizations are trying to achieve too. So in your opinion, why do you think so many recruiting technologies fail?
This question's been around for years. I think there's two reasons.
And we're still talking about it.
And it will be around for years and years to come. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. I think recruiting technology and the failure side of things, it's very little to do with the product itself. And most times, and there are a few times where it really is the product couldn't do it. But most times it's the inability for the business to be prepared for a new solution and to see the process and what they're trying to accomplish within that solution. Guardrails is my best description. So when I go help organizations with understanding what the market has available in solutions and technology, when they go out to market and identify the right product, there are organizations that will say, okay, this is the way we've always done recruiting. Do this in your product. Well, that in and of itself is a recipe for failure. You've bought a product and a capability for what it's going to take you to do. Why do we cripple it with the way we did it before? So I think for me, most of the technology implementation failures fall on that core fact of we bought a solution for what it could do, but we made it do what we were doing instead of re-envisioning what we could then do with the technology. And so that's probably the number one reason why I see the most amount of distrust, dissatisfaction, frustration, and whatever other word we can put in there for a negative perspective on why the technology is not working. The number of reasons why I hate my recruiting system. I hate insert product name here because it is so labor intensive. Insert reasons here is predominantly because we didn't evolve our business process with the new technology. We've put the old process on a new system. On the flip side, there are times when some vendors just aren't prepared for the customers that they take on. And that can be a huge risk if that vendor solution hasn't proven at your scale and model, and you're taking on their, to use our phrase before, shiny new object as what you really want. Understanding that they're going to need some time to mature into your complex business as well is another area where I've seen the relationship get sour quickly.
Wow, I think we could probably have a whole nother show just on talking about this one topic right there. But I know we're coming up. We've only got just a little under 7 minutes left, so let's start talking about what's coming up for you next week. I know the Talent Acquisition Technology Conference is coming up next week. So what exciting news can we expect to have revealed at the conference this year?
There are so many things. So it's the Talent Acquisition Tech Conference, which I'm really excited. I get to co-present with one of our clients, American Airlines, and we're going to talk quite a bit about the journey that it took to merge U.S. Airways recruitment process and American Airlines recruitment process together, and doing all that in rapid fire with, while disrupting the technology in the middle of it. So it's kind of fun. You have all these pieces together in a room, and you kind of throw what's going to stick against the wall. But so we're going to have a blast on that conversation for sure. But I think other things from that conference overall, I think we're going to see a new focus on the talent acquisition stack or ecosystem of products. Recruiting is not a single system anymore. It's not just your applicant tracking system. We track organizations that are anywhere from 5 to 30 different products that they need to solve for in recruiting. And we're starting to see more and more of those products converge, so some market consolidation, but then we're also starting to see a lot more emerge in new categories. intelligent marketing, recruitment marketing platforms, relationship platforms that are beyond, again, just join our community and we'll decide when to market to you. It's much more collaborative. So my hope for next week is that we're going to start to see a lot more of those newer solutions coming in, and we'll see a lot more relationships between the vendors, creating a solid ecosystem to get talent acquisition accomplished. On the flip side, just to add, because Talent Acquisition Technology Conference is co-located with the Recruiting Trends Conference, and my other side of my brain, the Talent Board and the Candy Awards, we're also partnered in that program to deliver the Candy Awards Gala reception, which will be on the Tuesday night, and also several sessions around just what's happening with candidate experience and the importance specifically for organizations on how they treat their candidates, including the cost of a negative candidate experience as well as the revenue of a positive candidate experience. So all of that to be covered next week.
Wow, a pretty exciting and full week coming up for you. So I know
I'm saving my voice.
About the yes, and you're joining us here for a half an hour on the radio show, and then going to go over to Twitter. So we'll save your voice for the next half hour. You just have to use your fingers for that. I know we talked about the shiny object syndrome, right? But, now I'm going to kind of reverse myself and ask you, what you see as being the hot recruiting and talent acquisition technologies in 2017. Not suggesting that everybody should just go out and try them out because of what we talked about already, but what should we be on the lookout for next year?
Oh, great question. So it's interesting because, we talked about it being technologies, and I'm gonna reverse that word just because of the way I see the universe, and I'm going to turn that into capabilities, because I think technology in and of itself, and whether it's a single vendor or not, the capabilities that are evolving into next year are some of the best I've seen so far. I'm kind of into that. Finally, we're getting there. It was only two and a half years ago that we really saw the first true attempt to solve for complex scheduling, as an example, where it's dynamic scheduling of all of these. It's because they're micro events. You have a candidate coming in to interview with 5 people. They're in consecutive order. Some are 45 minutes, some are an hour and a half, and you're paying coordinated labor to figure all of these equations out. So we're starting to see technology and that intelligent technology come in and going, well, let's predict some scheduling models for you, and you can pick one and auto-publish those schedules. So I see more capabilities like that coming into the market, from better scheduling tools across the board to dynamic event programs where you can do invitations and marketing. I also see this next year a lot more of the decision support type of capabilities coming into products. It's been said, we recruit for similar positions over and over again in certain companies, but yet every time we go to recruit for, let's use the software engineer position, it's as if we've never recruited for it before. So unless that recruiter remembers what they did last time, now the system has 5 years of knowledge of what it's taken to recruit software engineers, but we've never found a way to serve that information up at the right moment in time. And those decision support type pieces, which says, oh, this is a software engineer position. It looks like the one you did 3 months ago and the one a year before that. And by the way, these were the best sources, and this was the overall budget range for the position, and these people are still employees or they've left, so they were or weren't a good hire. Just context like that is what I'm seeing the most. And as you can probably hear in my voice, I am the most excited about seeing those kind of decision tools come into, helping a recruiter be more effective. I'd love to see more capabilities around advanced and better job descriptions. We're still automating the paper job description delivered to us by compensation 25 years ago. And I think we're ripe for evolution on how we present the job capabilities, how we do an evaluation of that job capability, and make sure we're soliciting the right candidates. Not excited at all about what's coming.
Yeah, no, I can't even sense it in your voice, Elaine. It's just like you're infectious with it. Actually, it's absolutely wonderful, and I can't believe that our half an hour is almost up. But the great part of this is now we're get to go over onto Twitter and actually have some Twitter questions come up using the Work Trends hashtag. So I just want to thank you so much, Elaine, for being our guest today, everybody that listened in. And please, everybody, remember, go over onto Twitter, use the hashtag Work Trends, look for that, use it in all your tweets, and then we'll see you there. Both Elaine and I are going to get on Twitter right now and see you. So thank you so much, Elaine, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you. See you next week.
All right, we did that good.
It's hung up.
Yep, we can hang up, and we will be on Twitter. So thank you
All
so
right.
much, Elaine. That was wonderful.
Thanks. That was fun. See you on the other side.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.